You've been waiting for this video for a very long time, haven't you? Ayo, and welcome back to the channel. So this is a vlog and a bit of a discussion video about why I changed teams. So for those who don't know, earlier this year, I was following the West Tigers, and when the start of this channel, since the channel's inception, I had been a West Tigers supporter. Obviously, that is no longer the case. And I'm going to answer some questions in this video, and I'm going to make it from now on when people want to know why exactly I had actually changed teams. It's going to link them to this video. That is literally all I am going to do. So you're getting your explanation here right now, and I am definitely wanting to keep this in an open discussion. And I understand people are going to be feeling differently about this, and that is completely fine. And I completely understand your opinion, and I completely understand your position. I don't want to change that. I just want you to hear my side of the story. So here it is. The reason why I changed from the West Tigers to the Brisbane Broncos. So the first thing I want to talk about is why exactly I started following the West Tigers in the first place. Now, I've grown up in Queensland all of my life. So obviously I followed Queensland in the state of origin. And that has been the case, and I have never changed that. Obviously, if I turn coded with that, that would look very bad. But I wanted to be I was definitely a Queenslander as I grow up and as I followed the state of origin. The reason why I started following the West Tigers was because I actually watched segments from the footy show on YouTube, because at the time that this was on, I had a bedtime and everything, because I was like 12, 13 at the time. And I actually found Bo Ryan really funny. And that's how I discovered people like Benji Marshall, Robbie Farah. I think Lottie Dakiri was on there a few times. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure now. And that is my knowledge with the West Tigers history. Those were the only three players that I followed within the West Tigers. So the reason I actually chose the West Tigers was because a lot of people actually followed different teams within my family, and some of them didn't even follow the teams that from the state or that they associated with. So yeah, I followed the West Tigers for about 12 years until obviously this year. Now, confession, I actually led you guys to believe that I was a Brisbane Broncos supporter from about round 6. I think it was, or shortly before Battle of Brisbane. I'm not entirely sure, but I had actually been following Brisbane for the last year. Now, I wanted to make sure that I never wanted to reveal this until the time was right. And I did that within March, I think late March of this year. Now, I wanted to make sure when I actually did that, that people were going to be supportive. If people weren't that supportive, I probably would not have continued Galaxy Footy, if I'm being 100% honest with you right now. And turns out most of you were actually pretty supportive, so thank you so much for that. And I completely understand. For those who actually followed me because I was a West Tigers supporter, I apologize deeply. Now, the reason I'm going to give you the reason why I actually changed, and it's not because I hate the club or the poor results. I wanted to actually start supporting a team that I could go and visit games for. Now, the West Tigers, obviously I can buy a plane ticket and go and see the West Tigers game, but I want to have that option to be able to go and visit most games for a team that I follow if I really wanted to. So obviously I would have to catch a train down to Milton to see the Brisbane Broncos at Suncorp Stadium, but at least I had that option to go. I know it would be expensive to go to every single game, but at least the option is there. For the West Tigers, I would have had to catch a train either down to Brisbane or my local airport. I would have had to catch a plane all the way to Sydney, hire a hotel for the night, because there is no way I'm going back the same night, and then buy a ticket, buy a membership, whatever, and then go and see the game, potentially for them to lose most of the time anyway. So that's kind of why I kind of weighed up the options. And this year I actually went to my very first NRL game, which the actual main season game was the Battle of Brisbane, while the actual first game will always be the trial game between the Cowboys and the Broncos at Sunshine Coast Stadium. Now, the reason I actually decided to just drop and just be a Broncos supporter was because I actually experiencing going to a game and actually watching your team play is probably more than seeing it on TV. At least you can go there and like actually, you know, cheer for them. You can actually see it real time, which is really cool. And yeah, it's just good. And also the atmosphere of the actual crowd being with them as well. So, and obviously I know a lot of people that are Brisbane supporters, and I didn't really want to be alone in Queensland being a West Tigers supporter. Not saying there isn't any, there is probably plenty around, but I wanted to be something from the local. And Brisbane mainly represented my Queensland spirit. So that's why I went Brisbane over the Dolphins. Now, something you guys might be wondering is why the hell did you jump from a team that was going bottom last, a very last position, whatever, to a team that is potentially coming first in the comp? When I changed, I didn't actually anticipate this. I actually anticipated Brisbane to fall off and actually be in the bottom eight of the top, in the bottom of the top 8. And honestly, it's kind of interesting to see that, because the fact that Brisbane have actually done as well as they did, that's actually brings a smile to my face. But it also kind of scares me, because next year, after I do this, they probably might never get to the finals again. I really hope not. Honestly, I'm kind of excited to see where this goes. I think potentially they could get the grand final. If they do and they actually win, I'm not going to treat it as a win for me, because yeah, sure, I did jump ship, but also it doesn't look that great, if I'm being completely honest. So I would love to support the club for a few years before I actually start celebrating like premiership wins. But yeah, it didn't look that good, and I just wanted to kind of explain myself. As in terms of why I left the West Tigers, now I understand that the bad results actually didn't help, and that's completely understandable. And honestly, I do agree. I think the bad results from the West Tigers didn't help them when I actually came time to change. But it wasn't the main reason. It was because I wanted to support more local stuff in terms of my state, in terms of Queensland, and I felt like it would make more sense for me to follow Brisbane or even the Dolphins. So that's why I actually did it. There is no ill will towards the Tigers. I'm actually still I wouldn't say I'm a key supporter now, but I would say that, like, hey, if the Tigers are playing, I'll go for them, because I think the Tigers can get somewhere in terms of what they want to do. So I'm actually kind of excited for them in the future. I have a funny feeling they're going to reach the 8 next year. I think, although they are at the bottom, I definitely think they're going to have a big turnaround next year. So I'm kind of excited to see how they go. So yeah, that's basically the reason why. There's not really a whole lot to it, but I think that now that you know, you should be able to put 2 and 2 together. And obviously, if you are actually watching this video after years of me being a Brisbane supporter, now you know what actually insinuated me to be a Broncos supporter. So yeah, that's basically it. Also, I can go and see the games at any point. But yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, I know it's a bit of a sit down video and I wanted to kind of just talk about it, but there you go. That's basically the reason why I changed. And if you're still watching me after this, thank you. And thank you so much for the support during this transition. I really appreciate it. So yeah, that's it from me. Go watch more videos. Yeah. Cheers. See ya.